from a man who literally made this film possible. His name is Joe Wang. He is the president of the new Tang dynasty in Canada. He is the executive producer of The Unrestricted War, a friend of many years now, and a man I admire greatly, and we're delighted to be able to present him to introduce this wonderful product. Joe, over to you.
So, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Thank you, Frank, for that kind introduction. I hope you all enjoyed the trailer. I promise that the movie itself is much better, and it's available on Ganjin World right now. So I just tried it before I get on. So it's there. If you subscribe to Ganjin World, then you can watch the movie. As one of the executive producers of the movie, my job was to get as much money for Yan, the director, and the team, so that they can produce a high quality film. I'm also proud to say that I'm normally not on the creative side, but on the business. In this case, because I can say that I'm an expert in the subject matter, so I hopefully contributed in some meaningful ways on the content as well. For those who don't know me, I grew up in communist China and went to Fudan University in Shanghai. For those people who are familiar with Shanghai, you would know that Junda, the second military medical university of the People's Liberation Army, is next door to Fudan University. So we have close friends there, and one of my high school buddies actually went to that school. So I can tell you that the Chinese military's bioweapon program is real. In fact, the Chinese defense minister in 2005, Chi Haotian, said in a meeting that his bioweapon program is ready to wipe out the U.S. population. This is an internal meeting, but I can tell you that the bioweapon program of the CCP is real. After I graduated from Fudan University, it was the Tiananmen Square massacre that everybody knows. I was lucky enough to escape China in 1990 and come to Canada for my PhD in molecular biology. And then I did a postdoc at Cornell University. And then I spent 10 years in one of the largest vaccine companies in the world. Was to mention that in 2003, I spearheaded the vaccine development against SARS-CoV-1, if you remember. That year, actually, 41 people died of COVID-1 in Toronto alone. But the disease went away, so our program didn't go further. But when SARS-CoV-2 came around, they all look very familiar to me. And when we were trying to make this movie, my expertise in COVID and vaccines came handy. I hope it shows in the movie itself. My second point to make is that in communist China, there was no such thing of non-military medical research. So everything, every discovery, every advancement can be and will be repurposed to serve the goals of the CCP, and in this case, their bioweapon program. Well, I mean, you can still argue the origin of COVID-19 and the vaccines and so on and so forth. But a former colleague of mine, Dr. Yu Xuefeng, he learned it the hard way. When I quit my vaccine job to do NTD full time, he also left the company, and he went to China to study to establish a vaccine company, just like Jim in the movie you're going to see. Then when COVID started, being a Canadian, Chinese Canadian, he's a Canadian citizen, I believe. He had a deal with, at that time, the Liberal government, Trudeau government, that his company is going to develop a vaccine against COVID-19 and likely ahead of the Western companies like Pfizer. So he worked really hard to achieve that. And in October that year, 2020, he actually was ready to ship his vaccine to Canada from China. But his shipment was stopped at the airport by the PLA. And then the Chinese military claimed that he couldn't ship the vaccines out of China because the vaccine was a PLA property. So his agreement with the Trudeau government becomes not even worth the paper it was written on. So,
Joe, may I ask
yeah.
you to wrap up, please? We've
Yeah.
got to get a lot more folks through.
All right. So my point is, so the bioweapon program is real, and there is no such thing of non-military medical research in China.
Thank you.
Be careful with the CCP. I must say that the Chinese people are very hardworking, beautiful people. Borrow a word from Trump, but the CCP is not. Don't trust the CCP.
Amen. Joe Wang, thank you very much. This is adding some very important texture to the film. We're going to hear next from its director, also producer, Yan Ma.